What's happening? This is David Banner, the God Box. You are on Clout 9. Thank you. Visually, I would give it a 456 visually, and just the feeling that it gave, not just black people, but especially our children. You know, to see, kids picking on a poster who they wanted to be, and the hope that it gave our women, just dark-skinned people all over the planet. I think it was dope. Commentary, I would give it a 7. There are some things in the film that I wish that they wouldn't have done. And in actuality, my biggest probably criticism that I would probably have was at the very end when they're at the UN. And again, black people want to be get along gang, and we want to save the whole entire world. We want to give vibranium to the whole world. When, damn it, let's just fix Africa. Or let's fix the neighboring cities or cultures or towns right around Wakanda, you know what I'm saying? I think, as a people, and I think the film showed that, is that before we fix ourselves, we're trying to fix other people. Before we try to fix our culture and make sure that we are, every other culture on this planet doesn't do that. Black people are always running to the aid of every group, every gender, every type of people on this planet. But when we need them, they never show up in masses when it counts. But black people are always skipping and jumping to everybody else's movements. So for me, but the thing about that 7 is you have to be woke to see the things that I saw. So just for the everyday average person, I'd probably give it a 457 on that side too. But for David Banner, on that aspect of it, I would give it a 7. On the word woke, it's cool. I use it because other people understand it and it's a hip term. I think sometimes, we're too critical. Kids like saying woke, that's fine. If that's the term for being conscious right now, that's all right. It's always different terms that come about, every now and then, and it's cool. As long as people are moving forward, you know what I'm saying? And it makes them happy. Like, we're usually talking about drugs and whoring and pimping and shooting and killing. If woke is the thing that's gonna have our people talking about consciousness, so be it. It ain't really that fucking serious. If I had to rate woke, I guess I give it an 8. Oh, wow. The idea of Diddy owning the Carolina Panthers. I think I might need to stay away from that one, but y'all can keep this commentary, because I actually called Diddy about it. I called him at 3 o'clock at night. He calls me his alarm clock now, because me and Diddy are working on some very powerful things that I believe are gonna move our people forward. And I called him about the Carolina Panthers, and I told him how I really felt about it. And I was surprised, because he was like, I appreciate you for calling me and telling me that. Because I told him, I was like, bro, if this is a movement, we really have to watch how we position ourselves and the things that we do. Because white people have convinced us that business is just business. That's some bullshit. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And just because you can get away with it and you might not go to jail from it, doesn't make it the right thing to do. For me, I'll just say this. I don't believe that it'll ever totally be a renaissance until we own our own shit. Like, you can make a lot of money and you can be at the table, but why not take some time and own the whole fucking building? You feel me? Like, I tell people all the time, most black people are fighting for equality. I want to be better than white folks. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But if you fight to be equal, 9 times out of 10, any goal you set, you always gonna fall a little short, right? So if you fight just to be equal and you fall short, then you know what I'm saying? You just average. But if I fight to be better or be the best that I can possibly be and not worry about nobody, then if I do fall short, then maybe we will be equal. In the sense of, you know, what people look at as equality. But I just think, I personally believe that Puff is bigger than the NFL. I really do. I think T.I. is bigger than the NFL. You feel me? I feel Jay is bigger than the NFL. I feel Snoop is bigger than the NFL. I'm gonna prove very soon that I'm bigger than most of these things that we look up to. And I believe it's time for our black men to start stepping into that light. You know, fuck being a part of something. There was somebody, whoever came up with the thought of the NFL. Why can't we do the same? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we come up with our own fucking sport? Like come up with something all together. You know what I'm saying? And totally own that. And I think the success of Black Panther, even though Marvel and Disney got all the money, we've shown that we can direct our people we can direct our people and they will follow that direction if the star shines bright enough. And there's not too many people that know how to shine, you know what I'm saying, better than Puff, you know what I mean? See if, I don't know how to rate it because it's happening. If it's as far as rating it on how it's happening, I get that bitch a 9. But how I feel about it would be like a negative 450 million. If people went to the REVOLT Music Conference, I talked about the fact that one of the biggest problems that we won't admit is that most black people don't like being black and they don't want to be black. So in a lot of cases, they don't see any value in the things that are owned by us. I'll give you an example. On my album, The God Box, there is no samples on that album. Like I either lifted the wave, like the UGK voices actually come from a song, so I didn't sample them. I actually pulled the wave off of the Pro Tools, so it's the actual voices. On the song with me and Big Crit, it's literally, I literally went and came to LA and got a symphony orchestra. But because people don't believe that there's any worth in what we do, people say it's a sample to downgrade it. Our culture is being appropriated and it's being, but the sad thing about it is we fucking giving it away. Like it's no different than fucking dope. It's like they don't have to bring dope to our neighborhood no more. We looking for the plug. We'll go to Peru and find the fucking plug. You feel what I'm saying? And it's just painful because we want to give it away. You know, and people don't even have to fight to appropriate our music. You know, if you look at any other culture, they'll fight you. Like I told you about country and rock and roll, you gotta fight them white folks in order to become a part of their music. They make you go through some shit. You know what I'm saying? And we just wanna get paid. And that's what big conglomerates do. They go and pay one black person and then allow them to be the conduit, and black folks will be like, oh man, well, you know, so-and-so are making some money, it's all good. You know, look at all these businesses. They get these black folks 2%, and then they run around like they own half of the company when all these companies are doing is using a black face to help them appropriate our culture. But the sad thing is we're giving it away. I can't really blame other cultures now. If you know, I'll tell you something, I'll be honest with you. I actually told a girl this one time. She said, David Banner, why don't you make love to me more? And I said, love, anything commonly given is commonly received. I hope y'all know what that means. If you commonly giving away your ass, you're a fucking whore, whether you're a man or a woman. You feel what I'm saying? I'm special. So it's gonna take a lot to give whatever I have to offer, and it's not easy. I want y'all to think about something. It doesn't have so much to do with cultural appropriation, but any strong man is an asshole. He has to be, especially if he black, because the end result of everything that a true, strong black man thinks about is death. I told some girls one time, I said, for the most part, what do you all worry about the most? It's like being raped or being hurt. I said, well, the thing that a black man thinks about is death. So if the decisions that I am making as a leader, I'm thinking about if I'm leading y'all, am I leading y'all to death? If I ask y'all to come to this rally, some of these motherfuckers, right wing, gonna shoot your ass, and I'll have to go and see your family. Those are the types of things. So when I make a decision, even if it's the wrong decision, I have to be clear and sure, and I can't waver in my ways, and that's an asshole. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to be that way about our music. We have to protect it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't come in. Because again, if everybody come in it, you already know what I'm about to say. Come in, I don't know if I can put that on there, but. But when you come in, you are on cloud 9, just so you know. Similar to what a very powerful man said about Royce, that's what Royce does. That's what Black Thought does. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to see that. I've seen it so many times, and I'll tell you this. Oh, do I have to rate it first?
Yeah, I guess both of them.
Oh, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. But this is what I'll tell you. For a while, you know, it took a minute for my God Box album to really start moving. And I was pissed off about it because I truly believe the God Box is one of the best rap albums, not just of last year, but ever. And it was crazy, people that started saying it until Charlamagne said it. It took Charlamagne to God to say it, but everybody to say, yeah, like Dave Banner shit is dope. They did the same thing with the BET Cypher. BET, the people at the higher ups at BET said you had one of the top 3 freestyles of all time. It was between you, Eminem, or Kendrick Lamar, period. But because I'm David Banner and I'm from the South, people act like they didn't hear that shit. I'm like a roach in the room. Like, okay, we're gonna act like the God Box and them freestyles David Banner do, like we're gonna act like them motherfuckers didn't exist. Motherfuckers act like that Black Fist video did not exist. That shit was jamming. But what I learned is this, if you are dope, that's what the fuck you supposed to do. That's just like somebody congratulating you for raising your child. You don't get no kudos for what. If you are MC, you are supposed to perform at a zenith level every time you step in front of a motherfucking microphone. I don't look for no kudos. I know I smash. I know I'm dope on beats. I know there's not too many motherfuckers that can outperform me. But if you don't clap, I don't give a fuck. I know I'm dope. People ain't gotta hug me and tell me the God Box is one of the greatest. It feels good inside, but I'm a man. I'm supposed to be dope whether you admit it or not. And half of the time, the reason why most of these motherfuckers don't wanna admit that these level of rappers are dope, because if David Banner becomes hot or super duper hot and the only shit that they put on TV, and then Black Thought and Royce the 5'9", that means the rest of these motherfuckers gotta rap their ass off. And then they have to do the other things that these rappers do. You have to be a man. You gotta defend your community. I remember one time I went and gave out toys for Christmas, and I heard somebody in the hood say, Dave Banner from Mississippi, he ain't even from here. What the rest of these rappers that's from here, why they ain't doing the same thing? And that's the effect that you'll have on rap. I wanna tell you something, and I want y'all to think about this, and I'm gonna leave this question here. A very wise man said that if you are hot in the eyes of America, then in some way you have invested in white supremacy. When I came out, I was talking about like a pimp. That was invested in white supremacy. I was talking about pimping, hoeing, robbing, shooting, all that kind of shit. I was hot. Most of the people on this, I'd be willing to say 90% of the people who become famous in America is because in some type of way they have invested in white supremacy or in the downfall of black people, and hip hop is supposed to be about the preservation of black culture. Oh, like a pimp? Oh, definitely a 9. Let me tell you something, that beat, yo, I didn't like the beat. I only picked that beat because UGK was, Pimp was on the hook, and I was trying to find a beat for Lil Flip to rap on because we were bartering at the time, and in case you don't know what bartering is, that's an exchange of goods for services. So I did 2 beats for Flip, and I was like, bro, I just need you to, be on my album. He was like, bet. So I had to hurry up because he had to go. So I just picked that beat, and I was gonna come back and do a remix of the beat. I ended up doing a song with Lil Jon, and I thought that was the song. There's this DJ in Atlanta, and at the time when I was in the streets like that, DJ Will was like the #1 underground DJ in Atlanta. So I took him to Lil Jon's song, Might Get Your Jaw Broke, Might Get Your Wig Split, and I gave it to him. He was I think we were in the bounce at the time, and he played the record, and Like a Pimp was on the other side, and this really happened. Gave him the Lil Jon song. He said, man, I like that song a lot. He was like, but Lil Jon is on every song in America right now. He said, bro, with you being a new artist, that's not gonna help you. He said, what's this song? And he played Like a Pimp. He said, if you put this out right now, you'll be a star in 2 months. He said, watch this. In Atlanta, in the middle of the club, I'm talking about when Crunk was at his peak, you just not gonna put no record on that people ain't heard before. He said, watch this. And he played Like a Pimp. People didn't go super crazy, but they didn't leave the dance floor. In Atlanta, I'm talking about right at 1 o'clock at night, DJs and people die for doing that shit. But Like a Pimp, to this day, man, I wish I would have done something that Pharrell and Lil Jon and other super producers, I had a sound and I didn't duplicate my sound. Other people did. And I regret that, because I was raised by hip hop, so I'm always trying to do something new. Every time I do a beat, I'm trying to move to the next level. And Like a Pimp, I don't think, I don't see Like a Pimp ranked like it should be, but I think Like a Pimp should be in at least the top 20 of all rap songs. I still to this day haven't heard a beat like that, ever. When I think about hip hop today, I love hip hop today. I think hip hop just needs some balance. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we need old and young. We need, trap. We need positive. What happens is hip hop soul is soul. I really honestly think hip hop is the right hand of white supremacy now because we sold our soul. And what happens is other cultures can't do what we do, so they try to make a formula or an algorithm. Like, there is no such thing as pop music. Only thing that pop music is popular music. So they took one genre of popular music and made that into an algorithm or made that into a formula so that they can do it over and over again and you would react to it and spend money. But the truth is, we stopped making music for the streets. And I'll give you an example. Everybody say they 100 and they for the streets, but black folks suffering right now. But everybody balling. Like, everybody ain't no dope dealer. Not everybody. Everybody ain't high. Some people love women. Like, where's the song that's saying we love our women? You got a daughter. You don't want nobody treating your daughter like a whore? Like, I don't believe the word nigga and bitch should be taken out of our vocabulary. There are some niggas and there are some bitches out here. But they probably less than 10 or 20% of our culture. Why do we spend 100% of our time talking about people who are less than 20% of our culture? You feel me? It's because we really are trying to impress white folks. We're not doing this for ourselves. I remember there's this wise man. He runs for Flavor Unit. His name's Shakim. Shakim from Flavor Unit told me something. He said that back in the day when we had Naughty by Nature, he said them white folks didn't tell us shit. We came in, we brought them the culture, we brought them the music, they cut the check and they put out what the fuck we told them to put out. And music ain't like that no more. One of the reasons why I stopped producing for a lot of mainstream acts is because there was this young white college boy who was an A&R. And I'm the type of person I don't mind guidance. Like, it's cool, I'm always open. You a fool if you don't take. but this dude really felt like he could A&R me on Southern music. Hey, bitch, are you serious? Like I was insulted, like, for you to even open your fucking mouth. Now, I may not have had a big effect on Southern music, but I had a fucking effect. Let's say even if we take all this shit out and only say Rubber Band Man, let's just only say that. The fact that you feel comfortable enough in our culture. That's why I say we need to put some fear back into some of these motherfuckers who really feel like because we let them in our culture, they really feel like they have a say-so. The fact that little white boy felt comfortable enough to tell me something about Southern rap music, bitch, I hurt you. I will fucking hurt you. And then I will go and smack your mama for having you. Like literally, why did she have you? She should have swallowed, I'm sorry.
But I gotta get back, sorry. Let me meditate for a minute, get back to the, what you say, woke David Banner.
No, but honestly though, we have to get back to the point where we control our music and that people respect our music. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you this, it even relates to black kids being shot out in the streets by cops. If cops felt like something would happen to them, and I'm not saying that it should, not on TV at least, but if people felt like there would be some type of repercussion, and it doesn't always mean physically, they felt like they would lose their livelihood or somebody, because like if you do something to their children, they come into your house to do something. You do something to a Russian, who coming back to your house? Say it, it's cool. A fucking Russian. Black people are the only people who allow other people to hurt our children, then expect their uncles and aunts to come and reprimand them. That's not logical. So that's the same way we have to be about our music. If somebody disrespects our culture or our music, there should be some repercussions to it, whether it's financial or physical. You can take your pick. I just want to say really quick before we close this segment out, I am extremely handsome. One thing that I do enjoy, is waking up to me in the morning and seeing what God has created. I told a young lady one time, and I think this is very important. She said, David Banner, you're arrogant. I said, that's not true. People who are arrogant have to believe that there's something. I am like the sun. My beauty is like the sun. It's coming up in the morning, even if you are in the house with the shades drawn closed. Once you have the sanity to wake up and go outside, my beauty will be shining all over your face like the sun. My name is David Banner. This is for Revolt, and everybody that loves and hugs Revolt. The God box has happened. Thank you. Watch, it's, he's